In this session, we're going to have a look at the apprentice view of Smart Assessor. When an apprentice logs in using their username and password, the first screen they will come to is this screen. This is the overview screen, which has the apprentice's name, and if they've uploaded a photograph of themselves, it also has their photograph. Underneath the photograph, it has the last login date that the apprentice logged in. And then underneath that it has the overall status, and again this is traffic lighted so that the apprentice is able to see what their progress is for their whole qualification. It's important to remember that on the overview page the progress is for the qualification as a whole and not for the individual elements. And again, the blue bar is to show the apprentice how long they've been on programme for, the duration. The orange bar indicates how much evidence they've gathered for their qualification, and the green highlights how much evidence has been signed off as complete. There's also the traffic light system just to the left of the progress bars, which indicates whether the learner is behind track, on track or ahead of track. If the progress bar is currently showing 67% and the learner has 48% evidence, this is showing that the learner is behind progress, as the evidence gathered for the qualification is 10% less than what the progress should be at. If the progress was at 58%, that would then be an amber traffic light, and if the evidence collected, the orange bar, was shown as 78%, then this would be highlighted as a dark green icon on the traffic light system. So what the current progress bar is, if the evidence is 10% less than that or 10% more than that, that's how the progress is tracked as to whether it's behind, on or ahead of track. On the icons there is a Smart Session box. This allows the apprentice to have like a Skype call, where if you're unable to get to them due to travel restraints, weather restraints, time restraints, you could actually book a smart session. To gain access to this, both the assessor and the apprentice would need to be logged onto Smart Assessor and would need to go through the smart room through this icon here. The next box is the time log, and this keeps a track of all the recorded hours on the learning plan that the assessor has spent with the apprentice. It's also a good idea for the apprentice to log any on-the-job training that they receive in the workplace on the time log, as this goes towards the guided learning hours for the qualification. The next box is the new documents to sign. If an apprentice uploads any evidence and it needs to be signed because they've forgotten to sign it, and the assessor requests that they do sign it, this is where they find that information. And if an assessor uploads a document and the apprentice couldn't sign for it on the day because they'd forgotten the username or password, then again afterwards the assessor can request that the apprentice does sign for it, and this is where the apprentice would find it. If the apprentice clicks through to this screen, it then gives them the course name, it explains the type of evidence it was, the date and time that it was uploaded, it gives you the name of the document, who uploaded it, and then at the end it has action where it says sign or open document. So the apprentice would just need to click on sign, and then they would just need to click on the learner box and click on there so a tick appears in it. I'm just going to show you as an assessor how you would do that, but that's the same step for an apprentice to do as well. They then just need to click on save, and that will save that document for them. To get back to the portfolio, you just need to go to the portfolio tab at the top. And if we just click back on the overview, but in this example, because this is a training site, that's still highlighting that there's a document to sign. Underneath we have actions and activities. So if you set your learner an action to bring something to an appointment or to get something ready in preparation for their next appointment, that would appear there. When an assessor does set an action for an apprentice, the apprentice will receive an email advising them of that action. And if they forgot what that is, they can gain access to that through the icon on the overview dashboard. The next box lets the apprentice know the date and the time of their next appointment. And then the next icon is a Facebook icon. The learners dashboard has been created by learners. Smart Assessor put it open to a poll, and this is the learners' request that they have. The dashboard looks like this. They've requested a link to Facebook. If a learner clicks on this link, it will take them through to the Smart Assessor page on Facebook, where they can get some tips and advice of how to use the dashboard. And the final box on the overview advises the apprentice of how many days they have left to complete their qualification. And if the learner is off track, it does ask the learner to get in touch with the assessor to see how they can improve their progress.